Hello there everyone, my name is Emilio, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I just want to go ahead and show off the movies that I own on the Criterion collection. What makes these movies special is that these are movies that I've bought in during a few Barnes & Noble sales, of course during July and November. These are movies that I've mostly blind buyed. I've owned these movies for either months to a year to years, and I just haven't seen them. I don't know why I haven't seen them. But I do own them, and I just want to show them off because I'm pretty sure you are a person who collects movies on Blu-ray, physical media. You buy something on the Criterion collection, you tell yourself you're going to go home and watch the movie, and you end up, I don't know, watching something on Netflix or putting some other movie on that you own that you've already seen like a hundred times. So these are the movies I'm going to showcase today, and I just thought it'd be fun to make a video about this. And, you know, I do want to make a few more videos that are Criterion collection themed, especially this month since it is still July. So that's what this video is going to be, and let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so the first batch of movies that I have right here in my hand are movies that I either blind bought because I've heard really good things about them, like on a YouTube video or like on a TikTok, or I just saw the covers and saw who directed the movie or who starred in the movie, and I was like, hey, that seems good, let me go ahead and buy it. And I just haven't watched them yet. So let's start with the first movie on here. It is a black and white movie, and it's directed by a very iconic filmmaker, Jean Godard, and it's La Petite Soldat. This is like the first movie I have here. I bought this movie because I would consider myself like a mid-tier fan of Jean-Luc Godard. Like, there are some movies of his that I absolutely do love, and I do love and respect the French New Wave, especially all those like filmmaking techniques. Like, when I watch a French New Wave film, it pretty much inspires me to want to just go out with a camera and just make a movie in a very weird, unique, experimental way on a very low budget. So that's what I get out of watching movies like Breathless or Petit Le Fou. So yeah, but there are some Jean-Luc Godard films that I do own that I put them on and I'm like, oh, that was fine. I'm never going to watch that ever again. But I am a fan, and I did blind buy this, and I do intend to watch it soon. I just haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to watching it. I really don't know what to expect from this film. Judging from the cover, it looks like some sort of, like, I don't know, crime movie, but it's a Jean-Luc Godard film, so it's going to have some weird quirk to it. The next movie I own is a movie that came out in 2018. It's not that old of a movie. It's a very recent movie now that I think about it. But I remember hearing good things about the film. It is shot entirely in black and white, and I think it has a 4:3 aspect ratio. It was a movie that I always heard great things about, and that's mostly the reason why I bought it, and that is Cold War. I'm not really sure what this movie is about. I think it is about this couple, of course. This movie looks like some sort of, I don't know, black and white romantic drama. I think it's about this couple. They are some sort of artists. Either they're filmmakers or they're some sort of like playwriters, performers, actors. I don't know. It's some couple that has some sort of creative passion, and I'm assuming some sort of Cold War gets in the way of that. So I really don't know entirely what this movie's about. I mean, I know I could just read it on the cover, but I like to go into watching movies blind sometimes. So looking forward to watching this movie eventually sometime soon. Now here's another movie that I own, and it is a movie that came out in 1940. This movie is almost 100 years old if you think about it, but it is directed by one of the most iconic filmmakers ever, and it stars one of the most iconic actors of all time. It stars Cary Grant, it also stars Rosalind Russell, and it's directed by Howard Hawks, and that is his girl, Friday. I don't really know much about this movie other than it looks like it's a romantic comedy. Now, I bought this movie because, one, Cary Grant is one of the most iconic actors of all time, but I haven't seen a lot of Cary Grant movies. I've seen Notorious, and I've seen North by Northwest, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. That's about it. So, also, I don't really own or have seen a lot of Howard Hawks movies. I've always heard things about Howard Hawks. I've always seen all these interviews on YouTube, like Tarantino or Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese. They all talk about and admire Howard Hawks, but I've never seen a single Howard Hawks movie. I mean, I think I have, but I can't really identify him right now. That's why I bought His Girl Friday. Now, here's another movie that I bought in. One, I bought this because I love the cover, and I know that this movie inspired one of my favorite movies of all time. The movie that was inspired by this movie was called Blowout, but the original was Blow Up. So Brian De Palma saw this movie, and he kind of made his own version of it starring John Travolta, and that movie I just love. If you love Brian De Palma, You know, he has some really great movies, and he has a really huge selection on the Criterion collection. But this is the movie that inspired it. Now, I don't know much about the movie, but I think it's about a photographer who captures like a murder on film, and he's taking that film photo image and he's trying to blow it up. And I guess he just gets obsessed with the murder. Also, I love this cover. I love this type of Blu-ray digipack style. I don't know, like you just see it and you kind of just want to own it. So that's why I bought this, but I have not seen this movie yet, and I have not even like opened or unwrapped this film. Here are two other movies that I own, and both of these are like black and white films for sure. One is Naked City. This movie is also an old movie, came out in 1948. I have not seen it yet. All I know is that it's shot in black and white and came out in 1948. But I don't know what this movie is exactly. I don't know if it's a crime movie or if it's like some art drama. I really don't know what to expect from this, but I mostly bought this because I do like the cover. And it's just one of those Criterion movies that I've always seen anytime I go to Barnes & Noble's. And I always tell myself I'm going to buy it, and I never do. So a few years ago, I bought this movie, and I told myself I was going to watch it, but I still have yet to watch it. So definitely looking forward to watching this movie. Ooh, now this one I actually bought fairly recently. I think I bought just like a year ago, and I did open it, so I did intend to watch this movie. I don't know why I haven't watched it yet, but it is La Haine. Okay, I'm not sure who the director is. It is directed by Matthew Cosvat. I believe it is some sort of French crime thriller. It stars that one actor who comes out in Eastern Promises and Black Swan. I believe he was married to Monica Bellucci. I forget the name of that actor, but really great actor, even though I've only seen him in 2 movies. And it stars this one other actor. In fact, you see them both on the cover right here. You have that guy from Eastern Promises, and you have this guy. I don't know the name of this actor, but I mostly just recognize him from movies like G.I. Joe, Wonder Woman, and Three Kings. But I believe he's like the star of this film. I really don't know what to expect, but I do remember like not too long ago, like from 2020 to like even now, like I saw a lot of TikTok videos glazing this movie and talking about how much of a great movie this is. So that's why I bought it, because of word of mouth, and I like the look and style. It's a black and white crime movie. So I'm really looking forward to watching it. Came out in 1995. I was like 1 year old when this film came out. So looking forward to watching it. We'll watch it definitely pretty soon. Here is Mishima, a life in 4 chapters. I don't know what this movie is about, and I don't know what to expect. I mean, I know it's some sort of art movie. It's very trippy from seeing just images of this film, but I really don't know what to expect when it comes to watching this movie. But one thing I do know is that it is directed by Paul Schrader. Now, Paul Schrader is a person who was like a screenwriter at first, but then he did become a filmmaker, and he's made movies like Hardcore, and that's it. He's made a good amount of movies. It's just I've never heard about any of his movies ever being talked about. In fact, the only 2 movies that I've really seen of his is First Reform, one of the best movies of the 2010s, and he also made The Card Counter with Oscar Isaac, a really good thriller that came out a few years ago that just no one ever talked about. But Paul Schrader, he's like a very interesting art director, but he's also interesting because he is a part of that like era of the 70s, like where you have filmmakers like Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Brian De Palma making these movies. And Paul Schrader, he was kind of like a part of that, like he is the screenwriter for Taxi Driver, but he did become a director, but he hasn't really made a bunch of, I guess, iconic movies. But this is one of those movies that I've heard great things about, and like I said, I love the cover art. It's just one of those like digipacks that I've been wanting to buy. I'm expecting this movie to be like kind of like Akira Kurosawa-esque, like inspired, because some of the images of this film look very dreamlike and very beautiful. And I believe this movie is also produced, I think, by George Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola. So I really don't know what to expect, but I'm looking forward to watching this movie. I'm definitely gonna watch it pretty soon. Now, here are 2 movies that I own. I guess I'm showing them 2 together because they're movies that I know that I'm not really looking forward to watching. They're movies that I'm actually dreading watching because they're movies about really dark, very serious subject matter. Now, here is The Human Condition. Now, I believe this movie, it's a war film. So I think this movie, just by reading the back of the Criterion cover, this movie is a 9.5-hour movie. So it's 9 hours long. It's black and white. The movie came out in like... It's like a series that came out from 1959 to 1961, and I think it's a Japanese war drama. and it's 9.5 hours. It's a daunting movie. It's one of the longest things ever made, and it's a movie called The Human Condition. I think it's about the horrors of war. I don't really know what to expect. I hear great things about it, so that's why I bought it. But I will watch it. It's just daunting. It's a daunting movie to watch for sure. But I will watch it eventually. Now here is one movie, and when I show the cover, I don't think I have to say anything about it. But here is Come and See. Here is the Blu-ray. Here is this beautiful yet haunting Blu-ray cover. What's there to say about it? I know this movie is a World War II drama, and it's very much like most war movies. I think most war movies are anti-war, but at the same time they want to like entertain and thrill you with the war adventure story. Like Saving Private Ryan, Full Metal Jacket, Apocalypse Now. Yes, those movies are very much anti-war, but they still want to give you like the exciting feel of being like in a battle. Like they want to entertain you and horror you and shock you and disturb you at the same time. This movie doesn't want to entertain you. It just wants to just show you how brutal, dark, and depressing war is. It just shows you the evil nature that human beings can enact to one another. And I mean, just look at this cover. I think this movie is about this kid. This kid goes to war. He's thinking this is going to be like awesome. He's going to be patriotic. And he goes to war and he just, he sees the horrors of humanity. And I guess that's why the movie's called Come and See. So I haven't seen this movie yet. I did buy this movie. I'm going to watch it. I don't know when. I just know that I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready to see this movie. But I will watch it eventually. Alright, so I finally have two movies that I have on this video that I want to show off. And I'm showing these two because these two movies are directed by Terrence Malick. I have New World right here. All I know is that it has Christian Bale and Colin Farrell. And I have The Tree of Life. And of course, these movies are both directed by Terrence Malick. The Tree of Life has Jessica Chastain. In fact, that's her on the cover right there. It also stars Brad Pitt. I think this movie is about, family trauma and the birth of the universe. It's like a family drama and some weird cosmic epic at the same time about life and death and humanity and nature and how we're all one. I really don't know. But I bought this movie because it's one of the most beautiful looking movies ever, according to everyone, and it's one of the best movies of the 2010s. I think Roger Ebert said that this movie was very much like 2001: A Space Odyssey. It told a story in a non-linear way, like 2001. So yeah, I don't know what to expect, but that's why I bought it. And I got The New World. Yeah, I really don't know what to expect from this movie. I do know that they showed this movie on IFC a lot, and I do know there's images of, I think Christopher Plummer, basically talking about how Terrence Malick is a pretentious filmmaker. He needs a screenwriter or something. And me, myself, I bought these because I do want to get into Terrence Malick, and I do want to watch his work. And I will say, I've always heard that Terrence Malick is this pretentious, artsy-fartsy filmmaker. Yes, his movies look beautiful, but they're just pretentious. They don't tell any story. You don't feel invested in the characters. I disagree. I saw Days of Heaven a year or two ago. Love that movie. One of the most beautiful films ever made, but I love the characters. I love the drama. I love the story. When you watch the movie for the first time, you don't really understand what you're watching. But then I just watched it again a few months ago, and I just was blown away by that movie. Also, I saw The Thin Red Line for the first time. I do own the Criterion somewhere in my Blu-ray collection. Love that movie. To me, that's one of the best war movies of all time. That is very much very different to Saving Private Ryan. I believe those movies even came out the same year, but I just remember watching The Thin Red Line for the first time a few months ago, and I was just shocked at the movie. You just feel like what Dunkirk tried to do, but failed to do, is kind of what The Thin Red Line did. It doesn't really give you much development for the characters, but it just gives you enough just to make you at least somewhat relate to some of the characters and sympathize with the characters. It's a great movie. I love The Thin Red Line. And it's just told in this weird, non-linear way where it just goes from one character's perspective to another character's perspective. And also, it's just one of the most beautiful films ever made. So yeah, Thin Red Line. So I love those movies. And I hear those are the best of Terrence Malick. I hear these are a little bit not as good, but still I had to buy them because look at these digipacks. They look so beautiful. I just love how they look. They're so beautiful. I haven't even opened them yet. They're still in this beautiful plastic, so they're still new, right? I bought these years ago, but they're still fresh new Criterion Blu-rays that I haven't even like watched yet. So yeah, I don't know why I haven't seen any of these movies. Maybe because I just like watching the same movies. Like I can watch movies like Pulp Fiction, The Dark Knight, you know, Indiana Jones. I can watch those movies a bunch of times, or I can just watch like more recent movies that I've seen. I just there's a lot of movies I prefer to rewatch. I have a hard time picking something new to watch when I have it in my movie collection. I am looking forward to watching these movies. I honestly think after making this video, I'm probably gonna start putting these movies on. So yeah. Anyways, my name's Emilio. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night and bye.